Northumberland Public Library presents Continuing the Conversation.
And I wanted to talk really quickly about the Promised Land, because that's something that you guys had also mentioned. So let's kind of talk about promises made that are never kept, and what your thoughts are on that, and if there's anything that we can do to facilitate some more conversation.
Just continuing to reach out and being adamant and going to the school board meetings and showing up. And with Dr. Wargo, there's a committee that out of it have that a lot of, I think 3 or 4 different committees have come out of the that I'm on, the equity committee, and this Dr. Linwood Blizzard is on it, Dr. Wargo's on it, Miss Latasha Lee, the choir teacher's on it. It's a lot of people on it. And we're having conversations like these about how we can make stuff better. So that's an avenue that we could take to keep conversations going and keep exposing different ideas.
Have there been in those conversations promises made that you feel like have not been fulfilled, or are you still just kind of in the talking stages?
Well, another committee was the Black History Month planning, and we talked about a lot of stuff that never happened on that. But I understand because it was very kind of last minute. But I think a lot of progress happened conversation wise because there were a lot of ideas planted that can resurface. Yeah,
for next year. This year was really tough. We even had a hard time here at the library putting something together when you were so limited with how many people you could have come. So this year was tough.
Oh, we are getting with Dr. Linwood Blizzard and 2 other seniors that will be leaving this year. We're spearheading the formation of an NAACP like high school chapter, and we're going to be going forward with that going into next school year. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Maybe partnering with the school, like through the public library, for conversations like these. If the school isn't meeting like the needs of the students, I feel like the library would be a good space for students to openly discuss these issues. And I also think that maybe like some sort of lesson or like pamphlet or guide where like students can learn from their teachers about things that are going on, and also normalizing having conversations like this, because I think it was either Denzel or Michael who said that they felt like, students bringing in Confederate flags was normalized, but having activist conversations isn't. And I feel like just making that just more of a common thing within a school will make the topics more well known.
And the more people we can get involved, the better. Because if someone isn't able to like make a meeting or like organize a meeting, that's so much better if you have other people who are involved who can kind of pick up the slack. Because I use Reverend Blizzard as an example. He does a lot, like he's not just a pastor and a teacher, but like Michael was mentioning, he's on all these other committees, leading all these other committees. So he's one person, and that may just be because of it being a rural area and not having many people who are as dedicated as he is, but also may just be an exposure thing. So some people here with some good experiences who've worked some pretty interesting jobs and have that experience that they can share if kind of nudged and given the opportunity to do so, so that if we have more people doing the work, then other people are less spread out thin. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So that, if we do expand this group, like Colette was suggesting, if we partner with the school when it comes to organizing the conversations, not only is that good for exposure and normalizing conversations, but gets more people involved and less of a chance of something falling through because 1 or 2 people are, have something else to do, like us busy college students, right? So I think that's another reason why sometimes promises fall through, is just that when there's people who are big fish in small ponds, they're spread out really thin. And I would consider all of us here kind of like big fish in small ponds when it comes to what we're passionate about, what we want to do, and us being, of the few people who want to actually do it within this area.
I do think that within the community, we'll have a lot of interest. I think the issue is just starting something. And obviously, we've started very necessary conversations that I think do need to extend out to the principals at the schools and the superintendent and the school board and the supervisors. I think these people need to be involved in our conversations, because if we are saying these are our experiences, this is how I feel, then they cannot be invalidated. These are situations in which we have been a part of, that we know happen in the community. And if you guys are interested, I would love to chat with Dr. Burns, Dr. Wargo, and all the school board members, because I think that they would want to be involved in these conversations, because it will only benefit the students. It will only benefit our community. And like I said, I think that we will have interest. It's just about how do we start? Where do we go from here? And I thank you, Jane, especially for getting this group together, making these conversations happen, whether they're uncomfortable or not, because I think in a community like ours, these conversations need to be had. And a lot of people don't experience what we experience as young Black people in our community, but that does not mean it doesn't happen. This happens at a very large scale. I had classmates of mine walk out after I won volleyball a few years ago. I had classmates of mine say, "You're smart for a Black girl. You're pretty for a Black girl." These things are not okay. And when people don't punish them for saying these things, it just continues. And I hear things like this all the time. They've got to be stopped, and conversations are necessary to have. So I applaud you for being willing to learn and educate yourself, educate us. I think I can speak on behalf of all of us. We've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about you guys and how passionate. Obviously, Denzel's my cousin, so I know he's passionate. It runs in our family. But I'm excited to have Colette here, because she does have a different experience. She did go to a private school. She now goes to an HBCU. And Michael, the young king he is, the fact that he's so young and wants to be like, who can I add to this group? I mean, all the time. He's like, I found this person, and we're going to do this. I've thrown his name out around the school for activist roles, and everyone I know has been like, oh, I've heard really good things about him. I've heard about what he's doing. So what we're doing, our journey has been spread. So I think that's all we can do, is just continue to advocate for not only the Black people in the community, but our community as a whole. And I think we're doing a really good job at doing that.
And thank you for all of you being willing to be here. I know your schedules are so incredibly busy.